Good morning. We are getting ready to start our Monday morning session in Ready, Set, Grow, discovering or uncovering your hidden motivators. And I'm going to share the screen, and you can take a little bit of time to get yourself ready and get a drink of water, coffee, tea, whatever you need, and get your pencil, paper, everything ready. So here is the welcome screen, and we will be back shortly. Hello, it is 9 o'clock, time for us to get started. And I want to welcome you. My name is Becky Amble, and I am the creator of Ready, Set, Grow, a free group, as you know, for people in smaller businesses, primarily in the B2B space, who are looking for ideas and ways on how they can increase their revenue and sales. We will be sharing some ideas today about finding your hidden motivators. Let's just take a quick look, go back to the screen share, and look at what we're going to do today. I'm going to put this back. I don't know if I can figure that out. Hold on a minute. I'm going to go back here for a second and it's back in this mode. It's a little easier for me to keep track of where I'm at when I have it set up so I can see the next slides. Here we are, Ready, Set, Grow. And I'm going to get that a little bit bigger. Here's our agenda for today. We are going to do our kinesiology, which is my standard operations for getting started. Then we will talk about where we're at in this process, a little recap on what we did last session. We'll talk about today, vision, mission, values, and then we will wrap up. Let's first then do our kinesiology. And you're probably going, okay, if you haven't been here before, you're wondering what that is. Well, this is a great exercise to connect both hemispheres of the brain. And I think whenever we are doing anything where we really want to engage and remember things, we want to do the best that we possibly can to make sure our brain is engaged. And actually, when we do this, using applied kinesiology, we find that we have better recall. We're using both hemispheres of our brain, which of course would be a great thing. And it's a good tool to use when you're doing other things, meetings. If you're getting prepared to write something, it's a great way to engage your brain and make sure everything is working as good as you can. I'm going to change the direction of my camera a little bit and see if I can stand back so you can see better. I don't want to get my chair off of there or the wheel falls off. Yes, those great technology problems we have. All right, so first thing is, if you're able to stand, please stand up. And what we're going to do is opposite elbow to opposite knee. And we'll do that. We'll do about 10 of those. If that is difficult, you can always just tap your hand to your knee. And again, because we're doing opposites, right to left, left to right, that kind of thing, this is connecting both your right and left hemispheres in your brain, if you want to know the science behind it. So there's that. And if you're not able to stand, feel free to stay in your chair and just do the tapping of alternate things. The next thing is to put your hands together, and we're going to do what's called a figure eight. So you just make the shape of a figure eight, or you might call it the infinity symbol. All right, we've got those ready. Then we're going to clasp, put the back of our hands together, wrap our fingers. This one seems to be a little bit more difficult and almost seems like you're pushing your hands out. So push out and then bring back in. All right, back of hands together, link those fingers, sort of push out, bring back in, and you're coming back inside. We'll do one more. Back of the hands together, push out, and bring them back together. I know that seems odd. There we go. We've got that done. I'm going to get my camera back set where I think it's supposed to be. And there's another thing that you could do. I don't do this one. It is basically where you take your pen and with your non-dominant hand, for me, that would be left, you do a figure eight on paper. You can try that. Maybe that will be something too. And if you feel like you don't want to stand up and move around, then you can do that one. The other thing is there are a lot of experts that have you stand up and get moving to music. You've probably been in Tony Robbins or other groups that have now copied that. And the reason that they're doing that is anytime you physically move, you engage the brain. And I've got friends that are brain experts. So I said, hey, I want to know the skinny on this. And that's what it is. Also, then, if you're working on something and you need to think or feel like you just need a change, get up and move around. Go get some more coffee or tea. Just get moving. It does help engage the brain. All right, let's get back to our screen. And here we are. What I wanted to do is also tell you as you're getting yourself set up, I have this journal. I don't have any now. I need to reorder some myself. So the journal is a way that you can keep track of your notes, your ideas as we work together through things. Use that if it makes sense. Also, you might know by now, I'm a fan of index cards. Here's some of my notes. Sometimes I have a few things. Sometimes I get a little carried away. These are 4x6. I suggest you get that size, if not bigger. And here's, of course, my big ones where I'm making notes. And these are in color. The other thing, because I'm a little bit persnickety on some of these things, is be sure you get index cards that are the old index cards weight. Remember when we used to have these and they had some body to them? Well, now if you go to most of the office supply stores, Target, Walmart, places like that, they're almost like regular paper. So be sure you get ones that are going to be sturdy enough. They are great to throw in your purse, if you have a purse, if you're female, or maybe you have a man bag, and just keep them with you. In fact, it was funny. I was talking to somebody and I said, I use index cards. And he goes, oh, well, when I met with John, he pulled an index card out of his pocket. So it forces you to keep your ideas concise, for one thing. So I like it for that reason. And it's so portable. The other thing, I've got notebooks like this. You can see I put tabs on to figure out where I've got specific topics. Actually, I have one dedicated to all my artificial intelligence research and sitting through all the workshops, presentations, and things that I've done on that. I'm just saying, get ready so that you've got yourself organized. And as you know from our first session, I'm a big fan of mind maps. This is one that is the 7 dimensions of life. And obviously, when you're doing this for business, you put in different criteria. This one is easy to show because it's so universal. I have done other ones. If you're interested, let me know. I can share. And I just basically made up things for competitive intelligence. I've made up things for marketing strategy and stuff like that. And I've had people actually say, oh, this is great. I can use this. And my whole idea was, this is a sample. We each need to figure out what is relevant for our business. And in this case, this is the personal one. And pretty much there, I would say the 7 dimensions are fairly universal. Let's take a look then at our whole process that we are working through, and we'll be working through for the next 3 months. This is session 2, so we've got 10 more sessions after today to get to our 12 completes. The process is basically 3 main pillars: get ready, get set, and grow. In the get ready, where we are now, we talked last time about business success and failure. And today we're going to talk about your hidden motivators. Then next time we'll talk about think like a millionaire, because there are different thoughts that millionaires have from those that are not millionaires. And then third is getting your customers to love you. When we get into the second pillar, we get into a little bit more of some marketing things, your target, revenue streams, upselling and cross-selling. And then the last component, the last month, we will be working on your growth. So idea here, the first one is do a little to get a lot. Secondly, master the money and your A team. Now, you're all astute enough to realize that I have 3 subtopics under each pillar or each main category. Well, there's 4 weeks in a month. We will be having 4 sessions per month. Some of these take more than 1 session, and that's the way it works out. So we still get our 3 months worth. The other thing is I have a member group separate from this one, where it's a paid membership, where everything we do is taking 1 step at a time and working through a marketing plan. And of course, marketing planning is probably my greatest passion. I love putting together the pieces so we know what we're going to do, when we're going to do it, who's going to do it, all those pieces. And there are several pieces, so we take 1 piece at a time. And you get to work on that and get clear on that before we move on. If you have any questions or interest in that, let me know and we can certainly talk about it. Last time we did talk about some of the statistics on business success and failure, mostly because I don't want anybody to think you're going to be set up to fail. I just want people to know the information. And if there are some stumbling blocks, hey, let's figure out what they are and do the opposite or do something to mitigate those challenges. Today, we're going to talk about vision, mission, and values. And there is a difference, and there's also similarities or some overlap. And what I want to do is share first, what is the difference between a mission and a vision statement? And the mission statement really focuses on your purpose for being in business, your primary objectives, and it focuses on core values, the fundamental principles that guide your company's behavior and actions. Secondly, it focuses on your products or services, the main offering or offerings that your business provides to the marketplace, to the customers, your unique, next is target customers. So the specific audience or market segment that your company serves, who do you want to do business with? That's really a marketing thing, and we'll talk about that more in another session as well. And your unique selling proposition. This is the distinctive qualities or advantages that set your business apart from competition. Then when we look at vision, Vision is more aspirational and talks more in a long-term focus. And I say vision, aspiration, and really almost dreams. So your vision statement outlines the aspirations and long-term goals of your business. It answers the question of where do you want the business to go in the future? I put be or go because it's sort of like, what do you want it to be in the future? It's moving into a little bit longer term focus. A vision statement, as I said, is often inspirational and paints a picture of what you envision your business in terms of growth, success, and impact. And it typically includes these 4 elements: long-term goals, the broad objective the business wants to achieve over a specific period. Now I break it down into 1, 3, and 5 years. A lot of times your vision is going out 5 to 10 years. So keep that in mind too. It's longer term. And the ideal future state, the envisioned outcome or the impact you want the business to create. Then values and principles, the guiding beliefs and principles that shape the organization's culture and the decision-making process. So, those values shape everything you do, really, as does the vision. The vision gives you the passion, the inspiration. And then last point, obviously, inspiration, because you want your vision to be a motivating and inspiring message that captures the essence of your company's purpose. And whether it's you in the business as a one-person solopreneur or you have a team of people, you really want this to be an inspirational aspect. And keep in mind, another point I just want to touch on is that there's synergy between vision and mission. And they each are distinct and different, yet they're interconnected, and you want your vision and mission to work in harmony and to drive your business forward. So vision and mission are working together. They're just 2 different wheels on the cart. And remember, again, your mission provides the foundation and strategic framework for day-to-day operations. So if you think about mission, it's a little bit more, I call it hands-on, and more relating to day-to-day. What do you do? What do you do every day? That kind of thing. And keep in mind then the vision is more of the guiding star, inspiring, aligning your team toward a shared future. And the mission statement typically is the what and how of your business. And the vision is usually more answering why and where. And sometimes it helps to distinguish it this way, because we can get ourselves all caught up in semantics and drive ourselves crazy trying to figure out, well, is this really a mission statement or am I doing a vision statement? And what's the difference? And how do I separate those? And sometimes I talk really fast, so you might have to go back and replay or stop and start the replay on this. I try to get myself a little bit more moderated, so hopefully that will be okay. And the other thing is I like to share things in different ways, because I remember back in grad school when I took econ as an undergrad, there were 2 semesters of it, and I thought, this was like a foreign language to me. And I did okay in the class and all that stuff. It just wasn't very easy. Well, then I went to grad school, and in 1 month, we learned what I learned in a year, and it made sense. So I'm all about just pick the pieces that make sense, pick what works for you, figure out if you're working on your index card, write down something like now, if you said, hey, mission, I got it. This is the keywords I'm going to remember. Vision, here's the keywords I'm going to remember. And guess what? We're going to go into a little more detail. Here we go. And I'm going to walk through the step-by-step for doing your vision. And as you probably figured out, vision and mission have a process, and the process is quite similar. So it's going to have some sound like some overlap. And I'm going to give you my shortened version after we get through this. This is basically the standard in the industry, if you want to call it that, for creating a vision. So let's take a look at these. The first thing is reflect on the current state of your organization. This is sometimes you want to have or do a SWOT. Again, typically that is more in strategic planning and mission work. And if you want to do it here, hey, go ahead. You really want to do a quick snapshot, at least, of your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, which of course is a SWOT. And take a look at the values, the mission statement, any existing goals that you have to make sure you get a clear understanding of your organization's purpose and direction. And if you're a small business, and if you're kind of new, and if it's mostly you or a couple people, you might not have any of this stuff. That's okay. Just start working on it. Define the time frame. Again, because typically you want to be looking out 5 to 10 years and you want to basically have some dreams. I break it down into 1, 3, and 5 years, and I get a little bit more concrete. So there's my difference of how this thing works. Consider the pace of change in your industry when you're looking at this too, the market dynamics and the business's growth potential, so that you set a realistic and yet ambitious time frame. Third point is to envision the future. So imagine the future state of the business based on your aspirations and potential. I think it's so important to dream and keep that dream alive. Encourage participants. Again, you might want to have people on your team engaged in this. Encourage them to think big and dream without constraints. Ask questions when you're going through this, if it's by yourself or with a group. What will the business look like in the desired time frame? So if you're thinking 1 year, 3 year, 5, and again, really want to at least do a little work on that 5 to 10, what do you want it to look like? How big do you want it to be? Where do you want it to be? What's your office going to look like? Anything like that. What achievements do you want to have accomplished? So pick a specific time frame. And if you say 5 years, what do you want your business to have done at the end of 5 years when you're sitting there looking at it and talking about your accomplishments? What impact do you want your business to have made, again, in that time frame? Fourth point is identify your key themes and goals. And you want these to align with that envisioned future. You want your key themes and goals to encapsulate the primary areas of focus for your business and its success. Consider things like market expansion, product innovation, customer satisfaction, operational excellence, or employee development. And you can probably hear that a lot of that sounds like marketing stuff. Yeah, it is really marketing stuff. And also operational excellence. It's not necessarily a marketing piece. So there you go. There's a little bit of ops thrown in. Sorry. Step number 5, craft a draft vision statement. Use the insight from the previous steps that you've gone through, these first 4 steps. And if you've got participants, encourage them to draft a vision statement that captures the desired future of the business. Again, remember, we're talking about where do you want to be? Pick that time frame, 5 years or whatever, and get people talking about that and create that vision statement. Emphasize also the importance of clarity, conciseness, and inspiration in your statement. If you're doing it yourself, you can go back and look at it and go, oh, is this clear? Is it, specific? Does it make sense? And encourage, if you've got, again, participants, to use action-oriented and descriptive language that resonates with your business and your stakeholders. And again, your stakeholders can be the community, people that you work with, contract people that you work with, your supply chain, your team. Keep that in mind. 6th step is to refine and iterate, just like so many things. Get started with it. It doesn't have to be perfect. Keep going back and tweaking it, review. And I'm going to encourage you to review your vision, mission, and values this week. Take 5 minutes every morning. And hopefully you've got things on an index card. And you want to take a look at that every morning and add, tweak, or refine. Send feedback or seek feedback from the participants and encourage collaborative discussions to improve your statement further. And this can be a lot of fun. It can be exciting. And as I said, iterate the statement as needed until it accurately captures the desired future state of your business. So keep tweaking it until you say, that's where we want to be. 7th is test alignment and consistency. Evaluate your vision statement against your business's core values, your mission statement, your existing goals. So pull in all those things and make sure that the vision also is consistent with that. Ensure that the vision statement aligns with these elements and forms a cohesive framework for your business's overall strategic direction. 8th point, communicate and engage. Develop strategies for effectively communicating the vision statement to all of your stakeholders, whether that's employees, teammates, contractors, customers, investors, partners, community. You want to make sure that you have a plan and you effectively communicate. Communication is such a big thing. Consider using various channels, such as if you have company meetings, if you've got internal newsletters, external newsletters, website, social media, any of that, to increase the awareness and understanding of your vision. It's probably most important to make sure you do that internally. Foster employee engagement if you've got employees or your team people, however you are structured, by connecting the vision statement to individual roles, responsibilities, and performance goals. So if you can tie that vision so everybody knows that it's real and it relates to their position, or again, they're contractors, that it relates to what they're doing. Last point, regularly review and adapt your vision. Encourage a practice of regularly reviewing and revisiting your vision statement to make sure that it is still relevant and aligns with your business's changing needs. A lot of times we do an annual plan or set some goals every year, maybe the beginning of the year, the end of the current year for next year. Keep in mind, you want to take a look at your vision then as well, because you want to still make sure that it's aspirational, inspiring, and pulls all those pieces together. Encourage participants, again, if you're working with a team of people, to also periodically review and make adjustments as your business progresses, or if the external outside world changes, because we know things do change, the market changes, the world economy changes. There's a lot of dynamics that end up changing over time. So we want to make sure that is something that we're taking a look at. Let me know if you've got questions on any of this. Just to quickly go through the best practices, there are experts in the field that have researched this, and these are what is considered the best practices, most of which we've talked about. The first one is to involve key stakeholders. Again, if you're a one-person company, that's you. You still are going to have clients. It would probably be a good idea to engage your clients or talk to them a little bit about your vision. Reflect on your values and purpose. We talked about that in the steps that we outlined. Be future-oriented. Again, remember that. You really want to be thinking about something a little bit further out than just this year. Make it specific yet flexible, and keep it pretty short, pretty brief. Number 5, keep it concise and memorable. 6, ensure alignment with mission and goals. Again, you want your vision, mission, goals, values, all of that to be cohesive and consistent and supporting each other. Inspire and motivate. Yes, of course, you want to be able to inspire, motivate yourself. You want to inspire, motivate anyone that is part of your team. And then review and revisit this periodically. I wanted to next, what I want to do is make sure I have my notes together. I was going to share with you the story about Canva, and then I'm going to give you my approach to vision, which I have come up with that shortens things up. First thing, though, I want to tell you a little bit about Canva. Most of you know about Canva. It's an online graphic design platform that was started in 2012. It's been around a while, and some of us maybe just started using it or getting familiar with it more recently. It was started by 3 people in Australia. You might not know that either. I love some of these stories and getting into some of the history. Canva aims to make it easier for people to create professional quality designs regardless of their design skills. If you're not familiar with Canva, it's basically a website where you go and they have templates. Some are free, some you have to pay for, and they have a bunch of tools in the toolkit. You can upload music, you can upload images, you can do all kinds of things. They've got text. Now you can go to Canva and you can put a photo in and take out the background. So if I had a still picture of me where I am today, and I didn't like the fact that I got file folders there and doors and the lamp or whatever, I could take a still shot and go to Canva and take out the background and put in something else like a blue screen or whatever. Anyway, back to Canva. They developed their vision and they set out to democratize design by making it accessible and user-friendly for everyone. The vision statement is to empower everyone to create and share their ideas visually. This reflects their company's mission also to make design accessible to all, whether they have a strong design background or not. And if you've been to Canva, you know what that's like, that you can actually go and pick out something that looks really, really well done and designed by a professional and make it your own. Some of their achievements that were driven by their vision is Canva developed an intuitive and easy to use design tool equipped with various templates, as I mentioned, graphics and features. Over the years, the platform has enhanced its capabilities by adding new functionalities like collaboration tools and expanding available resources, as I mentioned. Today, Canva has more than 55 million monthly active users with over 3 million paying subscribers and a valuation of 40 billion. That was as of September 2021. Canva's commitment to its vision has positioned the company as a leading graphic design platform serving individuals and businesses globally. Like I said, they were started in Australia, and being in the US, most of the people I know are in the US and they are using Canva. It's a great tool. There's some things that it doesn't do, like properly prepare a document for Amazon publishing, which I found out the hard way. If you need any information on that, give me a holler. Vision. And this is vision according to Becky. This is what gets you excited about your company. It's what gets you going in the morning. And it may sound like a dream or pie in the sky to you or to others, and that is okay. You can see my statements there. The vision is yours, and you can make it anything you want it to be. And especially if you're a solopreneur or a pretty small group, I just say go for it, create that dream, have that passion, and you decide what it's going to be, and you decide who you want to share it with. You don't have to tell anybody if you don't want to. And if you do share it, you're probably excited, enthusiastic, so share it with those people that are going to support that. We're going to do a little work here, and you can really answer my questions or come up with your own. Think about what is the dream for your company. And I might say, well, I want to be the best marketing strategy organization in the United States. Okay. You might say, I want to improve the lives of others. That's often at least part of a vision of a lot of the med tech companies that I've worked with. As you're doing this, I'm going to give you a little time, and I encourage, if you've got index cards, take an index card or a clean piece of paper to think about your vision and think about the future state of your business. And again, aspirational, potential, dream. If you can think even in a picture, that is really great, because 60% of people in Western society are visually oriented. Think big without constraints. It doesn't matter. Go for it. Pie in the sky. No judging. Ask questions. What will the business look like in 3 years, 5 years? And I usually start with 1, 3, and 5 because I don't know, I do it my way. What achievements will be accomplished when you look at that? What impact will it make? If you want to, here's my questions, and you can use these or you can come up with your own. And I just encourage you to do that, I'm getting my timer set. Look at things like if you want to do 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, or if you want to say, hey, in the 5 to 10 year span, you pick your time right now, pick your time. And then you can use these questions or the other things that I had here, like what will the business look like in X years? Why are you doing this? What gets you fired up? What gets you out of bed in the morning? And in fact, when I have shared that particular comment with clients, all of a sudden that made all the difference. When I said, what is it that gets you out of bed in the morning? What excites you so much about what you're doing that you can hardly wait to get started? I'm going to give you 2 minutes. So get ready, set, and go. We'll be back in 2 minutes. One minute left. Thirty seconds. Alrighty, there we go. And here are some sample vision statements you can take a look at. I guess the first one most of us are familiar with, Walt Disney's vision statement to create a new kind of amusement park filled with the accomplishments, joys, and hopes of the world we live in. That sounds pretty exciting and pretty aspirational, doesn't it? And Sony's, we invite new thinking so even more fantastic ideas can evolve. We take chances, we exceed expectation, we help dreamers dream. That sounds pretty exciting and inspirational as well. Again, I encourage you to, if you have index cards, write your vision on that index card. Take a look at it every morning. Pull that out, tweak it, see what you think. All right, we're going to move along and we're going to talk about mission statements. And I've got a little different approach on this because mission statements have a very similar process that we want to go through. And second here, I'm going to share with you what some companies did in these different steps. Let's start with the first one. So defining the purpose. And here, whoops, hold on, it's not the right page. Well, I had some specific stories I was going to tell you. Just a second. All righty. So on defining the purpose, let's just talk about that. Again, we want to think about, there's a small software company. Their purpose might be empower business with innovative and customized software solutions that enhance operational efficiency and drive growth. So that's just a sample one from somebody. in the software business. Second thing is to involve stakeholders. Now, here's an example that, again, just tells you what somebody else did. A B2B, a small B2B marketing agency, so they're probably doing digital PR, advertising, something like that, involved their employees, their clients, and industry experts in the mission statement development process through interviews and surveys. They gained valuable insights into their customers' pain points and aspirations. This collaborative approach helped them to create a mission statement that truly resonated with their target audience, leading to increased client satisfaction and referrals. We do this for a reason. It helps to be clear. Analyze the market. An example here is a small B2B e-com company analyzed the market trends and the customer needs in their industry. They discovered there was a growing demand for personalized shopping experiences, so they were dealing in the consumer area, and identified an opportunity to position themselves as experts in providing tailored e-commerce solutions to businesses. Their mission statement reflected this and focused on personalized customer experiences, and that set them apart from the competition. Brainstorm, the key elements. Here's a story, an example about that. A small B2B logistics company organized a brainstorming session, and they did this with employees from different departments. And it's great to have input from people with different functional areas if you've got a large enough organization to do that. They discussed the company's values, their commitment to on-time delivery, and their customer-centric approach. The brainstorming session generated ideas such as delivering excellence every mile and driving business success through reliable logistics. From these ideas, they crafted a mission statement that emphasized their dedication to exceptional service, which helped differentiate them in the market. Again, differentiation is so important. Fifth point, consolidate and refine. So here's an example. A small B2B consulting firm consolidated the ideas that they got from brainstorming sessions. They identified the common themes of expertise, partnership, growth, and from there, they refined their mission statement to highlight their commitment to being trusted partners for their clients, helping those clients achieve sustainable growth through their strategic consulting services. Number 6, drafting the mission statement. Here's an example of a company doing that. A small B2B manufacturing company drafted their mission statement that reflected their core purpose and unique value proposition. Their mission statement read, here it is, to revolutionize the industry by delivering superior quality products, leveraging advanced technology, and fostering strong partnerships for mutual success. This statement effectively communicated their commitment to innovation, quality, and collaboration, and that resonated with their target customers. So again, we need to know what's going on with our target customers and what their pains are and what they care about, because this might not have been the one that resonated for another market. However, for these guys, they did their research and they knew what was going to connect with their target market and customers. All right, let's get to seeking feedback. A small B2B software startup company, they shared their draft mission statement with their advisory board, which is a great thing to have. And this included industry experts and mentors. They received valuable feedback on the clarity and the impact of their mission statement. They incorporated the suggestions they got from all these people they talked to. They refined their mission statement to make it more concise and compelling. Again, these don't get done usually in a session where you're, bam, okay, done. Let's move on. Test for alignment. And a company here, my example here is a small B2B SaaS, software as a service company. They evolved their draft mission statement against their long-term vision of becoming a global leader in their industry. Again, remember, the vision was a global leader. That's pretty aspirational. They ensured their mission statement aligned with their strategic goals, such as expanding into new markets and continuously innovating their product offerings. This alignment allowed them to use their mission statement as a guiding principle for decision-making and resource allocation. This resulted in focused growth and market penetration. all the things that they wanted to accomplish, finalize and communicate. Really a key piece here. The example is a small B2B marketing agency. Again, they did digital PR or something in the promo world. They finalized their mission statement and communicated it to their employees through internal town hall meetings and company-wide emails. I know when I was at Star Trib doing the turnaround, we had town hall meetings. And after I met with everyone individually and got their ideas and their input on things, I put things together, and then we had town hall meetings to make sure everybody knew where we were going. And we did 2 or 3 of those so that we could break it up and people still were able to cover and do their jobs while we were talking to the other segment of the group. Anyway, this company, the marketing agency, they integrated that communication into their company culture and encouraged employees to embrace it as a guiding philosophy. This increased employee engagement and alignment, which positively impacted their client relationships and overall business growth. Communication, such a key thing and a great way to engage people. Last point, review and revise. So there was a small B2B consulting company that reviewed their mission statement and revised it to make sure it remained relevant in a dynamic market. I would say we're all in a dynamic market for the most part. Things are changing almost faster than we like anyway. This consulting firm expanded their service offerings to include digital transformation solutions. And that became quite the buzzword over the last few years. Now, if you want to look at the best practices, again, these are based on the research that experts do to really identify what are going to be the best things, best case scenario, best process. So first, and these really are very similar to what we just saw here in the steps. So I'm going to just run through these. Understand your company's purpose. Secondly, involve key stakeholders as much as possible. And again, if you're a one-person company, maybe you've got a business friend that you can say, hey, I just want to sit down and talk with you. Can you give me some feedback? Can you brainstorm with me? I put together something I call a brain trust, which is a separate concept. That is people that know enough of what you do that can give you good feedback. So you might want to have that if you don't have other stakeholders, but you certainly have customers and they can be engaged. Moving on, number 3, be concise and clear. We talked about that. Identify your core values. We're going to work on that today. Focus on your target audience. Set ambitious yet realistic goals. You do want to have things that you have to reach for and still be attainable. Make your mission statement adaptable. You don't want it so cut and dry that nothing can change. Communicate and reinforce. Communicate, communicate, communicate. I think, 3 words. Communicate, communicate, communicate is so important in every business. And then last part of the best practices is to refine and review. Now, here I wanted to share with you my example of Slack. I guess I can't ask you to raise your hand because I can't see that. Slack is an interesting company. They started in 2013, and they originally started using this technology that they came up with because they had another company, I think it was called Tiny something, now I'm forgetting. And they wanted to create a new video game, and it was going to be a great video game and just go off like wildfire, take off like crazy. Anyway, that didn't quite materialize, and they found that the technology that they had of communicating and sharing information and working together through this platform was really useful. And they started talking to people, and they found that people wanted to have this. So after they first came out with their original idea, they said, hey, our mission, or we want to create a platform that makes the workplace communication more efficient, user-friendly, and fun. Now that sounds like a great aspiration, doesn't it? They created this by offering features such as organized channels, direct messaging, file sharing, and integration with other productivity tools. One of the things that you probably know in software and the SaaS world is integration is key. You want everything to work with what you already have or are using. Their mission echoed throughout the entire organization, from product development to marketing and customer support. Their commitment to their mission enabled them to continuously iterate and improve the platform, guided by clear objectives that focus on customer needs. And they were great at getting feedback and incorporating things. So their mission became to make people's working lives simpler, more pleasant, and more productive. And you may know that as a result, they grew exponentially, they expanded globally, and they now serve millions of users. Between 2015 and 2020, the annual revenue for Slack increased from 42 million to 958 million, just under a billion in 5 years. From 42 million, but basically a billion. And then in December 2020, Salesforce, probably know Salesforce.com, announced plans to acquire Slack for a whopping 27.7 billion, almost 28 billion. This rapid growth and success highlight the importance of having a strong mission that guides decision-making and drives continuous innovation. And obviously they hit on a chord that struck with many, many people. Let's go back and take a look at Mission by Becky. Again, I say your mission is the purpose of your business. What are you there to do? What are you there to accomplish? What does your business do? Some questions. Why does the company exist? Again, I'm using a why question because it's easier than saying, for what reason does your company exist? What value does it provide to customers? What problems does it solve? What makes it unique in the market? Yeah, a lot of this stuff will come up when you're working on your marketing. You might want to ask some of these questions too in your discussion or working on it yourself. Who are your ideal clients or target customers? What industries and sectors do they operate in? Do you operate in? And what are the key factors that attract clients to your company? I'm going to give you about 2 minutes to work on this, and I just have to share this. I think you can see it. This is the mission statement from Medtronic. It's a little fold over business card. I love it. You probably can't make out, I don't know if you can, the embossed, that's the logo, which is, well, cool. Anyway, here was the mission statement that we had years ago. I have kept this. I believe it's been 40 years. So obviously that made an impact. And the fact of how it was presented and put together, they did a really, really great job. Right now, I want you to take 2 minutes and work on your mission statement. This is one from Alzheimer's that you can take a quick look at. Anyway, work on your mission statement. I'll put these questions back. Thinking in terms of these questions. What do you do? What are you in existence for? What do you provide? What problems do you solve? I think probably what do you do and what problem do you solve? What do you do for other people or businesses? I think that's probably key. So let's go for 2 minutes and we will come back and we'll do a quick little work on values and wrap her up. One minute to go. Thirty seconds. Okay, we are going to stop there, and I hope you took an index card or something like that to write your mission statement. I encourage you every day this week, take that and your index card or piece of paper, your journal, whatever you're using, and take a look at that mission statement and revisit it and see how it sits with you, how it strikes you. We have few things to get through here before we wrap up. We want to talk about some core values, and I encourage you to pick somewhere around 3 to 7. I'm going to give you the option of 10 values, and we know the values define our business culture, and it really defines how we operate. And a lot of times I have people that I know that stress their values, their top 3 it probably is, and anybody that they contract with as an outside service has to be consistent with those values. And they ask any contractors, what are your values? It's getting to be a big deal. Here are some possible core values, and I'm going to give you an exercise to work on this. This is really a fun exercise and frankly can be life-changing and business-changing. So what I want you to do is take a piece of paper. I'm just going to grab something I got here, take a piece of paper, fold it in half. Okay, I would tear it or cut it, and then cut 5 pieces. You know, you've got your piece of paper, now it's 2 pieces, and then make it into 5 chunks. That gives you 10. And otherwise, if you have any business cards that have nothing on the back, they're old ones, they're great to work with. This is a great size to use, business card size. What I want you to do is write down your top core values. You can go up to 10 if you need to. I suggest that you don't. I'm going to give you 1 minute to do that. So let's get that done. That's step 1. Make your little pieces of paper, write down your 10 values. Let's go. And we'll do that in 1 minute. Hopefully that'll give you enough time. Ready, set, go. There we go. That was 1 minute. I know that was pretty fast. If you need more time, hopefully you're able to catch the replay and stop this and replay. What the next step I'm going to give you 2 minutes to do is to now take all of these. Okay, so let's say that you got anywhere from 3 to 10 little pieces of paper with 1 word on them. Take these. I suggest you spread them out on your desk. And this is really, from everybody that's done this, they think this is a great process. If you're doing it yourself and you've got more team members, you can do it yourself and go and redo it with your team. So you're going to have 2 minutes. You're going to take all the little cards where you have 1 word written, and whether that's loyalty, trust, honesty, respect, those are some of the ones I've got written down here. Lay those all out on your desk, your table, wherever you are. Now what you're going to do is rank order them. So the first thing you do is you say, let's just pretend you have 10. The first thing you're going to do is pick number 10. And you look at all of the ones that you have and you say, which one can I eliminate? And you make that number 10. What I like to do is, if I have the word on it, I like to write the number 10 on that card too. So that's 10. Then you look at your list on the cards, all of your little pieces of paper, and you say, okay, now I'm on number 9. Which one can I eliminate? You go all through this whole process until you end up with number 1. Now, again, we're running a little close to our end. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to do that. So get started now. Take that until you end up with your number one. If you have questions on any of this, put it in the Facebook group and I can explain things more. Most of this is not complicated. It's just thinking. Right, got about 40 seconds left. Okay, stop where you are at, please. And you're probably going, "Oh, this is so rushed. How come you rush us so much?" The thing is, I like to take 5 minutes, so you can go back and give yourself 5 minutes. The thing is that you can put together your vision, mission, values in 5-minute chunks and get it done. I know this because I've done it many times, and I actually learned this from one of my clients that was an engineering consulting business, and they needed help with things, but they didn't have enough money to hire me for as much time as they needed. So we worked out this whole plan, and yeah, index cards. And he would take a specific topic and work on it for 5 minutes, and he put together his whole marketing plan. Excuse me. You can look at this. I don't mean to say that we don't know anything, but sometimes it's good to realize that there's a lot to know. All right, so moving forward, review whatever tool you use, notebook, index cards, mind map. Take a look at your vision, mission, and values every day for 5 minutes. Take a look. Hopefully you've got them on an index card. That makes it so easy. Just pull your index card out, work with it, tweak it, review with your team if you've got a team, and see what kind of input they have. Share ideas or questions in your Facebook group. Let me know if you've got questions, because we can certainly talk about that. And we will see you next time when we're going to talk about how millionaires think. Again, go to the Facebook group, share any comments, questions, and I look forward to seeing you next time. For sure, reach out if there's anything else that you need. Thanks. Have a great week. And remember to keep tweaking everything every morning. We'll see you next time.